Hello everyone, my name is Smith Patil and this is the final project presentation for DA 5030 Intro to Data Mining and Machine Learning by Professor Martin. My project consists of airline passenger satisfaction data which I found on the Kaggle website. If you search for airline passenger satisfaction on Kaggle, you will get this data. So the data has mainly 22 independent variables and the variable to predict is satisfaction. They have two distinct categories, neutral or dissatisfied and satisfied. The data is divided into two parts, test.csv and trend.csv. So going back to the presentation, when we look at the business model of passenger carriers, then they are essentially are service-based companies. For a service-based company to thrive and remain relevant, they must ensure that their customers remain satisfied. The project aims to predict whether the passenger is satisfied or dissatisfied by the airline based on the information filled in by them in the survey form. The project is implemented in R, and now I will show you. Open the RStudio app. Coming in the RStudio app, you can see that I have imported two different data sets. As earlier the data was divided into test and trend.csv file. So first I imported both of these data sets, then I applied row bind function to those both two data sets and made a union of those data sets. Then I have just printed the head of the data set to see if all the data is imported correctly. Looking at the structure of the dataset, you can see that X and ID columns are unnecessary, and the first thing I am going to do is remove both of these columns. So yes, next step is that removing both. Now I have just printed a quick summary of the data. So when you look at the data, the gender column has two characters, female and male. The customer type is of two types, disloyal customer and loyal customer. Age is in a range of minimum 7 to maximum of 85. Type of travel, it is categorized into business travel or personal travel. The class of travel, which is business economy or economy plus, and there is the flight distance, which has a minimum distance of 31 and maximum of 4000. And then there are this in-flight Wi-Fi services up to the cleanliness, which are mainly ratings, which is from minimum of 0 to maximum rating of 5. Then there is arrival delay and departure delay columns. So the departure delay and arrival delay is basically the delay it took for the flight to depart from the source, and the arrival delay is the the delay in minutes which it took to arrive at the destination. And this is the satisfaction column which we have to predict. So the satisfaction column has two categories, neutral or dissatisfied and satisfied, as I have told earlier. So there is no, the satisfaction column is not equally divided, so we have to create data partition based on the satisfaction column so that the train and the test data sets are equally divided. So going into the data exploration part, first thing I have done is check for any values in the data. So yeah, so there are some any values in the data. So then I have printed which columns have any values. So as you can see, only one column, which is the arrival delay, has any values. And then I went on and I just plotted a histogram for all of these columns. So as you can see, the age, gender, the customer type has just two values. So main we have to focus over here is the age column, which is pretty much normally distributed. But when we look at the flight distance or the departure delay or the arrival delay, these columns are right skewed, so we need to just normalize this column. So I will just probably take a log transform of these columns. So I've just printed not over here, over here, yeah, I have taken a histogram with log transformation of all these three columns. So you can see log transform just makes this column normal distributed. So yes, I will be going to take a log transformation of this. Then I have plotted a box plot for the age column. I was just checking if there is a negative or a very extremely high age value, like somewhat around 200 or something, but no, that's good that there is no outlier in the age column. Then I have just calculated this outliers based on G-score standardization. So if I run this block of code, yeah, so I have just print an output for outliers. So if you just view the outliers column, so yeah, so this is the number of columns, number of rows which have outliers in some of one of the three columns. Yeah, that's just for the outliers. Okay, so the next thing I have done is I have plot a correlation plot for all the variables. So if you run this is the correlation plot. I will just maximize it so you can see it clearly. It takes up time. Yeah, so this is it. So this is the correlation plot. If you can see over here on the bottom right side of the correlation where departure delay and arrival delay is there, so you can clearly see there is a very high correlation between these two columns. So I'm going to plot another correlation plot for these two and see plot a linear regression line to see how the correlation works. So I'm using a ggparis function to do that. It takes a bit of time to load because it's very process. Okay, so here is the correlation plot for departure delay and arrival delay. As you can see, there is a correlation of 0.96, so which is very high. So there is a straight correlation when if the departure delay increases, the arrival delay of the flight also increases. So this is a very interesting thing to know. So next thing in I'm going to do is data cleaning and shaping. So I will run all these libraries before. Okay, so I have created a copy of the data as passenger data. The first thing I have done is I have replaced the NAs in the arrival delay column with the mean value of the column. As you know that the flight distance, departure delay in minutes and arrival delay in minutes column were right skewed, so I have applied log transform over here. Next thing I have done is converted factor columns to numeric. So this block of code does that. The next thing I have done is implement PCA using percom function. So while I was implementing PCA, if you run this block of code, you can see there is not very high variance in the PCs, and the variance decrease gradually. So implementing PCA would not be a great choice, and it will not increase the efficiency of the model very significantly. So I'm not going to do that. So the next thing I've done is to normalize the data. As you know that the flight distance, the ratings and the age columns have a very different range, so to bring them into a single range, that's why I've performed normalization. So that's that part. So coming to the model construction and evaluation part, firstly I will just create a training and testing data set using create data partition function. First I'll run all these libraries so that all the models will run efficiently. So first I've created the data partition, then I have create train and trace data. Okay, so I have used five models: logistic regression, decision tree, KNN, SVM, and neural networks. So I will not run the model implementation, but I will just run the predictions of the model because the running of the models takes a lot of time and this won't be possible right now. So I will just print the summary of the model which I have already implemented. Then I will predict probabilities and I will just run the confusion matrix to show you the accuracy of the model. So as you can see over here, the accuracy of logistic regression is 87%. So further on, to implement this logistic regression model, I have used stepwise backward elimination using AIC. So this is the implementation of the model, and I have run this model, and the confusion matrix of this is this. So yes, this is it. So if you see that the new model and the older model both have exactly same accuracy. So this logistic regression model didn't improve on anything, so I will be using the first model only. Second model which I have implemented is KNN. So printing the confusion matrix for KNN, you can see that uh, it gives an accuracy of 92.73%. I have chosen k is equal to 10 for the first model, and to improve the model, first I have tried increasing the k value from 10 to 311, but the problem is it takes a lot of time, and I also tried it doing on RStudio Cloud, and surprisingly enough the accuracy was lesser. So k is equal to 10 was the better model. So to just increase the accuracy, I thought of decreasing the k value from k is equal to 10 to k is equal to 5, and when you see the confusion matrix for this, then you can see the accuracy is from 92.73 to the same 92.73. So also the KN model also didn't increase in the accuracy. So yeah, so k is equal to 10 can be a good model for this. The next model which I have implemented is decision tree. So decision tree I have implemented using rpart function, and for the rpart function, if you look for the accuracy, it gives an accuracy of 88.45%, which is okay. But when trying to improve on this model, I chose C50 function. So when you look at the C50 function, accuracy of the C50 model, you can see that the accuracy is now at 95.75%, 79%. So which is a great increase from 88%. So yeah, for decision tree, C50 is the best model for this data set. The next two models are support vector machine SVM and neural networks. So the lot of my time went into the model for creating these two models, because these are very slow, and that's why I've tried both on RStudio Cloud and RStudio, and I finally got it running. So if you see the accuracy for SVM, it gives an accuracy of 95.39%, which is very great compared to what other models are giving me. So to increase the accuracy of SVM model, I tried to change the kernel from radial to linear. Radial is the default one, and the linear is what we can change it to. So surprisingly, when running the checking the accuracy for the linear model, it decreased to 87.43%. So instead of increasing the accuracy of the model, it decreased the accuracy. So I'll be using the default version of the SVM model to construct the ensemble model. The next is neural network. So neural network model, first I tried to have an increase hidden layers of 3 and 2, so total of 5 with 3 in first and then next 2 in the second, and a threshold of zero point 0.1 with a repetition of 3. But it didn't work. It was taking a lot of time. Almost it took 1 day to try to do it, but still it didn't give me the output. So I just kept the hidden layers to 1, threshold to 1, and repetition to 1. And we see the plot of the first model with 1 hidden layers. You can see that over here. So it just has one hidden layer in the neural network. And when we look at the accuracy for this prediction, with one hidden layer, it gives an accuracy of 83%, which is okay, because obviously it is less low because the hidden layers is 1, the threshold is also 1, the step max function is also at default. So it's it's very time consuming. That's the problem of this model. Otherwise, if we have chosen a more very large number of hidden layers with a lower threshold and more repetitions and more step max function, then this model could have given us a better result. So to improve on this model, I just increased the hidden layers from 1 to 2. So if you see at the plot of this, when hidden layers are 2, you can see just there are 2 hidden layers instead of 1. And when I print the accuracy of this new neural network model, it has increased by a very low amount, almost the same. So so yeah, neural network model, it's very tough to implement because the data set is of 130K rows and so much rows to process. It's very processor intensive. So yeah, the model is not very well implemented, but yes, still it has given us a good amount of accuracy. So now I have just created a Dodge bar plot to compare the accuracies of all these models. So you can see the decision tree is the best model over here. Next comes the KNN, then is the so SVM, and then it's logistic, and the finally it's the neural network. So the decision tree using C50, which is the newer, well improved model for the decision tree. So that's giving us the best accuracy. And other two, if you look at the other than KNN and Logistica, also giving us a good accuracy. So further on, I have constructed an ensemble model based on majority voting. So if for all the 5 models, if majority of the models have predicted us same thing, then the that prediction will be considered. Basically, that's what majority voting is about. And so this is the model creation of ensemble model. So I will not run the ensemble model. I will just run the confusion matrix for it and show you the accuracy. So looking at the accuracy of ensemble model, it's almost at 94%, which is great because a lot of our accuracies are at 88 and some are at 95. So it gives basically gives an average value for the accuracies. So that's the ensemble model. So further on, I have used GDplot function to plot the accuracy of all the models with respect to the ensemble model. If you see here, then the ensemble model with a accuracy of 94% and the other 2 models with greater accuracy than that with 95%, the C50 and the SVM model. And then at the lower end, the KNN, RPART and the logistic and neural network models. So it's a comprehensive comparison of all the models with respect to, and the top 3 models. You can see the top 3 models with the accuracy percentage. So yeah, this is my model implementation and the comparison of all the accuracies of the model. So after the model implementation, I went on and created an RShiny app. So you can see over here there is an RShiny app. So this is the app. I will just give you a quick overview of the app before running the app. So first of all, the app does is basically mimics a passenger survey form which you can fill in, and when you click submit button, it will give you the prediction whether the passenger was satisfied or dissatisfied by the airline in real time. So this is the libraries which are required to create the app. So from the previous model implementation, I have just imported the passenger data, and the all the things which I have done in the model implementation I have done here for the training of the model. Then this is the label mandatory function which I have created. So the mandatory fields should be filled in. Without those fields you cannot submit it. So here is the UI part of the function of the application. So quickly, I have just taken in the first name, last name, gender, which is required, age, which is required, customer type, and all those which are required columns in the application. And on the user interface side, you will see all this. Once I will run the application, you can understand what that exactly is done. On the server logic, I have take first created a observe if the, all create an observe function where it checks if all the mandatory fields are filled in. Only then it gives you the access to submit button. Next, I have created a dataset input function where I have taken the input from the user for all the columns which we require to perform prediction. So this is the input part. Next, the input part, I have just made a data frame and added names to the column. Next thing is the converted the categorical variables into factors. As you know, this is a single row of data. I have to mention the levels, so there are two levels, female and male, for this data set. For that's that part. Then the next part is setting the integer values, where the numeric column, basically for the ratings, I have them just set them to an integer. And as from earlier, we have to take the log transform for the continuous variable, so these three columns have been taken log transformed. And then finally, just a similar way of predicting the value. So I have used the C50 function. As you know from before, the C50 has the highest accuracy, so I chose to use C50 for the prediction. So I have created a new function, new model, C50.shiny, for this application specifically. So I have predicted the function value in the value column. Then I have just created it to character to show you clearly in the show the output clearly to the user. So for that, just the UI side of it, not very much of a concern. Yeah. So this is the render print function to print output. These two functions do the same thing, and then this is the server app logic which is required. So now I'm going to just run the app. It takes a time to run the app. Okay, so here is the passenger survey form. So I will just enter in my details. Patil, male, new, loyal, just randomly entering values. So I am just taking 3000, and once I click the submit button, it will show me that the passenger is satisfied. So if I just change the values to, like, decrease the this this, I'll decrease the rating, so just to show you guys the that it also prints neutral or dissatisfied. And also, if you see, if I just don't enter age in the columns, it won't let me submit it. That's what I'm just going to just showing you that it's work. And then just I submit it and see it shows neutral or dissatisfied when I give a poor rating. Also, I have deployed this application on Heroku. So if you guys, anyone just interested to just fidget around the application, you can just go to passenger survey from Heroku app. I will also provide a link in the description for this application, so you can also, it's similar to the one which I was running locally. So you have to just enter in your details, just basic details. So, and if you just submit it, it will show you the passenger is neutral or dissatisfied. That's what it is. The another thing I have done is created visualizations in Tableau. So when going in Tableau, so this is the airline passenger survey data analysis. So first is a line graph of customer satisfaction with their age. If you can see that for the lower ages, that below the average age, the customers are more amount of customers are dissatisfied than the amount of customers satisfied. After the values greater than the averages, you can see there is a decrease decrease in the amount of customers who are dissatisfied and increase in the amount of customers who are satisfied. Also, I have created a Dodge bar chart for satisfied and dissatisfied across business class, economy class, and economy plus class. So if you can see that business class customers are more satisfied with respect to dissatisfied, and for the economy and economy plus class, more number of customers are dissatisfied. So this is the first dashboard, and the second dashboard is the correlation plot between the departure delay and the arrival delay. As I have showed you in the project R5, you can see that there is a high correlation between arrival delay and departure delay. I just have wanted to show the visualization for this in Tableau and just verify that both the outputs are true. And the next thing I've done is the bar chart for the best rated versus the worst rated item or service. So you can see that the most number of ratings have been for the in-flight services, and the lowest rated is the in-flight Wi-Fi service, which I also think is true. So yeah, this is the visualization part of it, and this is basically my project, and these are all my visualizations and the R codes. I will submit a link to all my Kaggle website where I found the data, also my GitHub repository, and also the link to the Heroku app where you can just fill in the survey form, and every in a way. So check out the description for more details, and thank you. Yeah, that's all. Thank you guys.